4, 3, 2.
What's going on, world?
Welcome everybody. Thank you for another good evening. Welcome to DadPod. Midas and King here. Beautiful, cold March night. How you feeling tonight, Midas?
Every time you fucking do the intro, I'm like, TV show. Every time. I mean, I'm good. What about you?
Actually, feeling quite crisp. Got my leather jacket on. Love my leather jacket.
Is it quite crisp?
Well, you got to enjoy these nights while they're still here. I mean, because right now in Blythe, the weather is up and down.
You're right.
It's 85 degrees, now it's
hot ass
70 degrees. Jesus. Anyways, the topic today is to understand a certain level of acceptance and consideration for men versus the normalcy thing we see from women. And it's a touchy subject. It's a touchy subject, and we want to understand why people don't, not say respect, but people don't really understand how certain men or good men respond to negative actions or respond to betrayal or respond to false accusations.
You know, it's funny because you were like, more so, we gonna hurt some feelings.
Mm-hmm.
What,
yeah.
That's some of what the reason I wanted to do this shit, right?
Yeah.
Men don't have opportunities to speak about what bothers us or you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Things of those sort. It's just...
Exactly. And the thing that nobody understands is we accept so much. You know, we put up with so much. And if actually we just put our foot down, we have all the right to not put up with that shit.
One of my favorite things I had heard of a dude say, he goes, women have always been taught how they should be treated. But they were never taught how to treat a man.
Exactly.
And I really love that, right? You know, with my wife, with any scenario, you know, you argue, learn each other, whatever. But with me and mine, that is one thing that's really, I guess, big with us. I try to show her and explain most of our arguments or issues are how I treat you. But you've never, you know, thought about how to treat me. And so when I brought that up, she kind of was like, damn, you're right. What do you want? What do you expect?
Exactly.
What doesn't make you happy? And it really was kind of like a breakthrough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
she gets it.
And the real thing, what I think about, is because I was raised by a single mother. And not just any single mother, but a single mother of 4 people in a big ass city, all by herself, all brand new. And she still knew her value and her worth, but it wasn't because she was a woman. It was because she was who she was. She has children. She works her ass off. And as long as you're that,
you have to know who you are.
As long as you're that, you're owed everything, man or woman. You know, and to be raised by a single mother and say, you know what, when I become a father, I'm gonna be just like that. You know what? I'm gonna be a fucking single mom. You know, think about that. If I ever become a dad, I'm gonna think like a single mother.
What kind of single mom? You one of them in the club, bad bitch?
No. The thing I told myself was I couldn't wait to have kids. The moment I was like 12 or 13, when my sister Callie was born in '95, probably like 2-3 years after that, I was like, you know what? I actually like this. I love it. And it was never asked of me. My mom never said, take care of your kids. I chose that path because the satisfaction, the gratification I got from doing that for my siblings. And I told myself, I'm going to be an awesome dad. But not just because I got this experience. I'm going to be, you know why? Because the way my mom fights for us, the way my mom fights to support us. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to change the whole script. You know,
growing up with you, you always made that point. Always. How strong your mom was, how much shit she put up with to make you guys, you know.
Yeah.
And you always, as well, you know, explain you really did a lot of work in raising, brothers and sisters as well.
Yeah.
But you saying that now, I appreciate it because you can, let the people know how much you respected your mom for giving up, sacrificing, busting her fucking ass to make sure you guys.
Exactly. And that's why I hope, like, the trend of really good dads nowadays, because there's a ton of good dads, but you know why? We were raised by single parents.
A lot.
And our generation, I mean, mock us all you want. Millennials, we're just basically kids just growing up. Mm-hmm. Think about that. We're a bunch of grown-ups, but we still want to be kids. But that's one of my main things, is that I understand, like, what it takes to be a successful single parent, but just because I'm a guy, that doesn't make it different at all.
And people think that.
And people think that, oh, men aren't capable of thinking, you bull, you're so full of it. It don't matter who or what, male or female.
And I had something like this before. I remember saying, I'm gonna hurt feelings, but statistics show single father households, the kids do better than single mother households. It's just, it's proven, period. I've already talked about it, right? But with stuff like that, I think...
It's got to be certain. I mean, there's certain things that still... I mean, it might be on a certain level, but, I mean, as being a single dad now, there are things where I need a woman's presence.
Absolutely. So I'm not debating or arguing that. I'm just saying single mothers often feel a certain way, and they're incorrect statistically. The father is needed. And so with what you're saying, I agree wholeheartedly. I have this conversation often. Children are meant to grow up in a two-person household with mother and father. And I think what a lot of relationships fail is that, more so because nowadays, personally, just my opinion, the whole independent single thing with the women, I don't want you to be whatever. I want you to be a woman. I want you to be caressing, loving, soft. I don't need you to be what I don't need that. And also, team-wise, I think society has built this thing where with women, if they clean and do laundry and cook and don't go to work, it's like a bad. It's fucking not a bad thing, dude.
Oh, dude, it's all jacked up. It's all. Sorry, I'm just skinny.
No, you're good.
Kind of sitting down for a second, but yeah. I mean, the whole demeanor, the whole thought process has changed. You know what I mean? That men are perfectly capable of being just as good, if not better, than single moms. And you know why? Because most of us were raised by the best ones. For one. For two, the society has now evolved to where men know and men are allowed to actually express themselves more emotionally. Because back then, it might have been hard.
That's all out of the scene, bro.
Oh, no, okay. But think about in the past, men were scared because the dynamic, the culture was, you leave, you're done. It's changed now. It's changed.
Not for the better. I don't feel like like divorce. I feel like now, or not just divorce. Marriage is not valued the way it used to be.
No.
Right? Like quite a bit of people can be married 3 times and divorced 3 times, and it literally doesn't mean shit to them, like at all. It's like a fucking relationship, and that is one, I think. But going back to what I was saying, I feel like marriages have forgot what a team means, right?
Yes.
We are not against each other.
No.
Will we have different points of view of how to raise our children? Absolutely.
Yes.
Because we were raised different.
Yeah.
However, we're a team. We're supposed to figure out how to do the best we can in life, bills, kid, whatever it is.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be,
And the best thing I heard was stop doing what your parents did to you. Stop raising your kids the way you were raised, because the world has changed. You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
This is not the 90s it's not.
World.
You know what I mean? And the sad part is, when we thought was dangerous, our world was actually safer. You know,
We're the same with our parents. Their world was safer than ours was growing up, right?
Yeah, but they taught us what they were taught, and it worked.
And that's how it goes. And with what you said, I have this conversation often, I swear. I don't remember why or how, but I saw an article, I think MSN. The article was about not saying, I'm never going to do what my dad did, or my mom did this. I'm never going to do that. So what happens is, you say it so much, you're going to do it. Because it's in your mind. Instead, focus on what you loved that your parents did. And so I read this shit like maybe 12.
Okay.
Right? And I've kept that since being a dad. Now, not to say I ain't caught myself like, oh my God, I hear my dad. Right? Not to say that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I've absolutely kept away from the bullshit and just did the great shit my dad and mom did.
Nice. And I have a good example. Because recently, sad to say, I found out my son has been stealing money from his mother and myself. And
I did before, so I can't say that.
When I caught him stealing from me, I'm not lying, he got a couple good licks.
Got a little ass. Yeah.
And he got a good stern talking to.
Yeah.
But then, the most recent one, when I found out he stole from his mother, no. You know, regardless of whatever her and I go, that's, you know, if one thing I'll tell you.
Agreed, bro.
If there's one thing I'll tell
100%.
anybody. My children
That's
have no. If one thing is for sure, my children have no room to speak ill of us as parents.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They can see all the BS that happens in
100%.
between, but her and I, when it comes to that, there's no question. So
Love it.
I took it even worse because you know what? That's stealing. You stole from your mother, stealing from my
mama.
Yeah. You don't ever.
100%.
And I don't give a shit. You know what? You never fucking disrespect your mama.
100%.
You never steal. You know.
Yeah.
So when he did this. And when I found out, he had his cousin there, you know, so I was like, oh, I can't beat the shit out of him, you know. And that was probably the best thing because you know what? I know for a fact he needs his butt whipped. He needs his butt. I mean, like, you know, I would say worse, but the fact that life gave me a few hours to digest it and realize, you know, because I see a lot of, you know, similarities from other people I've grown up with, and I realize they got their butts whipped too, but nothing changed. So the ass whoopings are in
don't always work.
You know,
so for sure.
Yeah.
My bad, interrupt. But
go ahead.
But with what you're saying, it's a beautiful topic.
Yeah.
With parents, disagree or agree with the ass whooping concept.
Exactly.
So my dad never really whooped my ass. But I was so fucking scared that he would end my life. I didn't have to do bad like that. Right? My kids. I've smacked my kids, hands more so. Maybe some little tiny ass smacks.
Okay.
Right? But similar. I never really had to fuck my kids up the way maybe mine did. Right? For them to understand.
Yeah.
I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always remember this one moment. I tell people all the time. It was, to me, funny. Because like you said, the world has fucking changed.
Yes.
So I'm in the store.
Greatly.
Right? My daughter, before my son's born, bugging to get like a fucking candy bar. And I'm like, no. We had already been to like 3 stores. I bought her something at every fucking store. So we're at Albertsons. So I'm in line and I'm like, no. She's bugging. I'm like, you know, so I get mad. The guy behind me goes, oh, I'll buy it. So now, no, but I get it because I've done something like that before, right? Where I get sometimes some people don't got that money, right?
But it's not an issue of money.
But agreed, right?
Yeah.
So when the guy did it, I'm like, hey man, I mean I appreciate it, but you know, she don't need it. He goes, no, it's okay, man. I got it. I said, listen, I bought her something at 3 fucking stores.
Yeah.
She don't need shit.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, okay, yeah. You know, but like that, where that was one. There was another time, whatever. She's acting up, and I said, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. If you don't want me to go to jail, you need to start acting straight.
Yeah.
Because when I smack you, these people are gonna see and they're gonna call the cops. Right? Again, to you guys, I'm not talking about beating my child. I'm talking about disciplining my child.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I say this. I say, you're lucky there's people here. The guy behind me goes, I'm old school, brother. Do what you gotta do. I said,
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm saying. So, but again, with what you're saying, definitely, you don't have to whoop your kid's ass for them to get it. You don't have to beat them to gain respect. But you do have to discipline them, right?
100%.
I think we talked about this maybe once before. Me and my son do the bruh thing. So does my daughter with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say that's disrespectful. I don't feel so. Because when let's say we do that, bruh, whatever. I'm like, Michael, clean the kitchen. And he goes, bruh, but I'm serious. I'm like, you better get that shit done. Then he goes, oh, sorry, Dad. I thought you were playing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Respect.
Oh, dude.
Can you sit the fuck down? I'm over here looking the fuck up all retarded.
Yeah, you're fine, because obviously you know why I'm not saying that.
Oh, but down on the chair. I just see it now. Holy fuck.
Exactly.
You can't just put the plastic back.
No, motherfucker, I can't do. I can't do a damn thing. But the best part, with my daughter Ariana, and we fight about this all the time, because she was like, you need to whip the twins, and I'm like, no. She's like, well, they're bad, and I was like, I know, but I gotta do this differently. And I told her, I was like,
you learn.
And I was like, did I ever have to whip you? She's like, no, but I was naturally good. And I was like, why were you naturally good though? You know why? Because you were an only child. These are twins. And you don't understand the psychology.
I couldn't match twins.
And I told her, I was like, what you see is, misbehavior, that's just them being twins. It's always going to be of he, she, she, And I said, but let me tell you right now, Adiana, you're chiming in too much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And now
my wife do that to mine.
And I said, you know what? And I'm not gonna be mad because you feel that we are that connected, and we are. I'll take your opinion, but you just understand.
I love that.
That's what it is. It's an opinion.
I love that, dude.
And go ahead.
Just similar with my wife and my daughter.
Yeah.
Right? My daughter, for the most part, mimics what my wife does with my newborn. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter doesn't understand, right? Because we've raised kids already.
Mm-hmm.
When the baby is crying, whining, you can't always pick him up because that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she doesn't get it. So it'll happen, and she's like, "Oh, he wants you." Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like you're saying, she hasn't got really to that point to understand. Like, it's just an opinion. You're not mama. You know what I mean? My wife be tearing her up all the time. Shut up! You're not the mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with what you said, I love that because similar. I feel like with my kids, we've started to get to that point, right? I do want their opinion. You fucking live here.
Exactly.
You're here all the time. I want your opinion. Now, I might not agree or follow anything you're talking about, but I do want to know what you feel. You know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, all I've ever done was not try to make my own thing, but I hated that my parents hid shit from me. They not say lied, but they hid things that they thought, oh, they're too young to know. They won't understand.
And that's the difference.
And the truth was, do you know why we would understand? Because you didn't tell us. You didn't help us. And my kids, I tell my students this. I mean, everybody knows. I am the same person all across the board. She has been in my classroom and is he really like this? And she's like, you have no idea.
And that,
to live with this. And she goes, he's not just challenging, but it's give as you give. You know what I mean? It's give as you take. It's take as you give. Because I tell my kids, I'm gonna teach you this way because when you grow up and become an adult, I don't want you to be an idiot trying to be fake, trying to fit in.
I was talking to my daughter today about literally what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's this song by Jessie J. It's called "Who You Are." So I heard this song from this little girl on American Idol, right? And I'm telling my daughter, I'm like, I about cried. She's telling a story about being bullied, not pretty, whatever. And so the song, that's what it's about. Like, be who you are. And so, my daughter's at 16, at that age, and I'm trying to explain, in my life, and you got to witness it.
Yeah.
When I finally figured out who I was, it fucking hit for me. Like, it just hit. Everyone fucking loved me.
Yeah.
because I was me now. I wasn't trying to be him, her, nothing. I was me.
Yeah.
And it hit. And so, I'm trying to explain the same, with what you're saying. My favorite saying, I made it up. You have to know who you are, or you have to know who you are to know who you're not. So, like, for instance, if you pass me some smoke, I'm gonna smoke.
Mm-hmm.
You pass me some meth, I'm not smoking it.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to know, right? You have to know who you are. And so, like, with nowadays, our parents, I laugh in a sense, you look at the 30-year-olds in movies 20 years ago, motherfuckers look 50.
Yeah.
Right? We don't.
Yeah.
Us 30-year-olds don't. And that's part of, like you were saying, we learned from our parents and avoided a lot of the stresses that they did.
Yes.
Right? But as well, with what we're saying, we have taken the highlights of our parents and skipped the bullshit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, we're not perfect. We all fuck up. But
of course,
we have been able to, like you're saying, I feel like our generation, 30s, early 40s, have been able to build a different bond with our kids than we did, right? My parents agree, though. I don't want to be too friendly, right?
No.
But I want to be friends with my kids, right? And like we're saying, when I have to check my kid, he'll be like, oh no, and I'm like, go. Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I know you're serious.
Yeah.
That's the respect.
Yeah.
So I do want to be friends, but I'm your dad, motherfucker. Like we ain't boys, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
And there's a blend because our parents raised us for us to respect them, love them, honor them, but they were afraid to have us judge them.
Yes.
Think about that. Think about that. The stuff our parents hid because they didn't want us to say, I don't want them to think I'm not a good parent. I don't want them to think and no joke, I don't feel for that. I want my kid to know what the hell I'm going through,
struggle,
and then not just know it, but no sad point. You know what I want you to know? Because I want you to watch and learn. Watch and learn, because when your ass is right here in this position, you're not going to sit here and cry about it and wonder what the hell's going to happen.
You're going to
get your ass up, you're going to walk your ass outside, you're going to face the world, and you're going to take it one challenge at a time, one day at a time.
Love that.
And nothing can freaking break you. You know why? Because I've shown you.
Yes.
And I've been real since day one. And I'm your best friend in the world, but I'm also your dad, and this is my role to be. It's not to be your boss, it's to be your leader, it's to be your guide, to show you how to navigate this damn world.
And actually, too, right, with that, I've had some of those combos. I'll never forget. One time, I couldn't buy my kids the Christmas gifts they wanted.
Okay.
We've
all been there.
We've all been there. I'm getting emotional right now.
Yeah,
it fucking hurt me.
We've all been there.
Bad.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my mom, venting. I'm so upset. Not asking her for money, but I'm upset.
Yeah.
And she goes, I've always wanted to ask you this, Michael. You're an adult now.
Yeah.
Name me 5 toys I bought you in your whole life. Go. And I'm like, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She goes, that's my point. You don't remember toys, Michael. Name 5 trips we went on. I can name 20 fucking trips.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's what it's about, Michael. It's not about the toys. It's about the memories. You kids love the toys because we play with you with the toys. Right?
Okay.
And that was kind of one thing,
And do you want to hear a different version of that? And this plays into obviously our different family backgrounds.
Yes.
Your family, your parents were very smart and made a career early on. Why? So their kids didn't have to suffer through certain shit. My mom wasn't a choice, but got thrown into being a single parent and having to work multiple jobs. And obviously we didn't have the most, stuff.
Yeah.
So let me counteract you. Would you like me to name my 5 best toys I've had over my life?
Yeah, go.
You know what I mean? Number 5 was my Hulk Hogan stretcher.
Loved it. I had one.
Number 4 was a SmackDown ring I got with Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, and
Never
Kane.
got it. I remember it though. I feel like I played with you at some point with that.
Number 3 was a basketball court that my brother and I woke up to outside.
Love it.
Okay. Number 2 was waking up to dogs for Christmas, puppies.
Okay.
Number one was waking up to a trunk, a big box the size of this table, wrapped. I have no idea what the hell it is. No idea. It says John. Rip apart the packaging. It's a trunk. It's a plastic trunk. Trunk you put shit in. Open up the trunk. 2 more packages. Now it says John and Robert. And now my brother, and I was like, Bobby. He's like, what? You have a present. Shut the hell up.
That's so awesome.
And you know why they didn't put his name on top? So his ass wouldn't get into it. We opened it up. Mine was a brand new Xbox, the first Xbox, and my brother got the Nintendo GameCube. You know what I mean? So there's neither one of us. There's no shame either way. Your parents did just enough to where that didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then my mother did just enough to where I will never forget the things that she did to make it matter.
Memories.
You know what I mean? It's we both win.
I have some of those often with my wife, but also like my mom. My mom bought me and my sister like Easter baskets, Valentine's shit, way past the age. She's fucking shit. Like, way past it.
Yeah.
But I loved it because it just showed that she loves us. Right?
Exactly.
Appreciates us.
Exactly.
It didn't have to be that major.
Exactly.
But anyway, on this note, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. That was DadPod. We gonna do another one. Come back.
We're barely getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.